Speaker.
Well, I call the member for Maiwar.
Thanks, Speaker. It's nearly more than 2.5 years now, in fact, since the Education Minister announced funding for a new primary school in Brisbane's inner west. And believe me, I was as excited as anyone when this funding commitment was made. On the Minister's initial time estimates, the school should have already opened on day one this school year. But since then, the department has proposed just 2 locations for the new school, neither of which had the community's support. Co-location with Indooroopilly State High would have worsened the existing traffic nightmare and been terrible for a popular and growing school. The Toowong Bolo site, we all know, is flood-prone public land next to a protected flying fox colony. So when the minister told me last year that they were reconsidering the location and the school would be delayed again, I told her I'd support that so we could take the time to find a better site. But I also made it very clear that we still urgently need a new school in the inner west, and she agreed. But now, 6 months later, there's been radio silence from the government. No news on an amended timeline or on possible alternative sites, no sign of the report from the second round of consultation, no response to my recent letter requesting a meeting with the minister about this. Now, meanwhile, Indooroopilly State School is absolutely chockers with around 1,400 students enrolled this year. Toowong State School, despite the construction of a fantastic new building recently, is essentially back to full capacity and in the same situation they endured in 2019 when half the school oval was taken over by demountables for 3 years. Student numbers at Indro High are, as I understand it, about 700 students beyond its built capacity. And it seems that the response is, once again, to spend about $3 million this time to put 6 demountables on the school oval. Never mind that the kids need that space to play, or that junior science classes are getting limited laboratory time, or that the student support space has to be used as a classroom now. This is a direct result of a failure to plan ahead. Now, I've lost count of how many times I've urged the government to just make the investment in necessary school infrastructure in my area, to bite the bullet and to acquire new land for the new school in the most appropriate area. I've suggested options in Taringa, like a smaller school at the Tricare development site, or purchasing the blocks that are up for sale around the Taringa train station, but they apparently just don't want to acquire new land. Now, the government's only too happy to spend billions demolishing and rebuilding the Gabba and, no less, taking out a heritage-listed state school along the way. But they won't stump up the cash for the new school that they promised my community years ago now. Now, it's time to get real. There's clearly no suitable state-owned land in the area. It's not like just finding a mystery bonus fiver in your jacket pocket when you put it on. The minister hasn't missed the perfect site somewhere in the state-owned land within Maiwar. If they're really worried about paying for it, why not introduce a windfall gains tax on developers so that the families living in the countless new apartments in my electorate have a place to send their kids to school?
Deputy Speaker. I call the member for Stretton.